Hello and welcome to this video A12 in the series about autodidactic learning objects in GeoGebra. The A series is dedicated to showing various techniques in GeoGebra, and this particular video, A12, is about how to control time in GeoGebra. My name is Jonas Hall, also known as the Mad Mathematician. So time. Well, without going into JavaScript and such, you can't actually control time very well in GeoGebra, but there are some workarounds. So let's start by creating a variable called time, and let's set it to 0 for the start. Go into the object properties, and on the slider tab set the minimum value to 0, maximum value to 1, and the step length to 0.1. And in the animation, select increasing ones. If I now animate that, we will notice that it changes value over time. Obviously, we'd like to change the speed if possible, so let's make a proper slider which we will call, well, speed, and let's set that to a minimum of 0 and a maximum of 10. Now you'll notice that if I change the value of time to back to 0 and start the animation, I can control the animation with the little pause or play sign down at the bottom left of the graphics area. But if I go into the properties and say that the animation speed shall be controlled by the variable speed, and let's set the animation to, let's set first time equals 0 again, and let's start the animation. I don't get that control because I can now stop it by setting the speed down to 0, and I can speed things up by having a higher speed. Okay. In order to use this, I'm going to have to firstly have something that shows off a little bit. So I'm going to create a segment between 2 points. One point is going to be this one. The other point is going to be, let's say, this one. I can read off the coordinates 60 and 65, and I'm going to change the 5 and have that to time multiplied by 5. Okay, so when time is 1, that's the distance. I'm now going to do the segment between them, and I'm going to see what happens when we set time equals to 0. Let's speed things up a bit, and animation on, and the bar grows. Obviously I could just as well make it shrink by selecting the coordinates of this to be 5 minus time times 5. Now notice that all the time I have to reset things by letting time become 0 again and starting the animation. Let's make a button for that. Button, call it reset, set time to 0 and start the animation. Now there's a command for that called start animation, in Swedish starta animering, and you need to specify the object unless you want to start animation for every object that is animated, and you need to say whether you want the animation to start or stop, which translates to true or false. So I'm going to put true here, and it should be true even in Swedish. Right, so now when I click the reset button I can see the bar shrinking. So this is how the time bar is made in the practice template basically, and you can select the speed obviously. Right, so that's a little bit of how to control time in GeoGebra. For some constructions you may want to have a ticking clock, and just to show you what I mean, let's create a variable called ticking clock. Set it to 0, go into the properties, slider tab, set the minimum to 0, maximum to 1, and the step size to 1, and leave it at oscillating. Set the animation speed to speed, and start its animation. And we can have a slightly higher animation speed. We can see that the ticking clock goes tick tock, tick tock. And what you could do then is right click on it, select properties, go into script, and on update have a script that controls various objects in your construction, because every time it will tick or tock, this script will run and update whatever construction you have. So this is how to create a ticking clock in GeoGebra.